gotta be the magician.
I think we see Willis coming out. There he comes right now. 6 feet 10 from Grambling. The captain of the Knicks, the most valuable player of the NBA.
Down the lane, running jumper off the front rim and in.
And the New York Knicks have become the second number 8 team in NBA history to knock off a number 1.
Right. What up, y'all? This is D-Trav, and welcome back to KnicksatniteTv. This is Season 2, Episode 3. We got a couple special guests on the show. My man, Jerome Richardson, Mr. Bunnies. What's up, my man? Introduce yourself.
Hey, what's going on? Jerome Richardson. Just happy to be on the show once again, talk about these Knicks. See if they got any better since our last been on the show, but happy to be back, man. All
right. And to my left, we got my man here, Haron Hargrave, a.k.a. H2O, Mr. Jump Shot.
Yo, what's good, man? Happy to be back. My second time on the show. I'm glad that you're still doing this. You know what I mean? Keeping it alive. You know, it was kind of a rough season last year, but we got through it. And, I'm just ready to talk about everything Knicks. Shout out to Jerome. Shout out to y'all. To Darren. You know what I'm saying? These my peoples, for real.
Facts. Well, one of the reasons why I started this show is because, we all been through the grind, as far as basketball players, Of course, we was All-Americans back in college, played overseas, you know what I'm saying? We know what it takes. Even though none of us made it to the NBA, but, you know what I'm saying? We've been through the grind. So I like to get the opinion of former players or active players that know the struggle of basketball-wise, and you could evaluate talent, because usually, you have people that's talking about basketball that, didn't play the sport themselves or didn't been through the grind, and they just quick to say, yo, he sucks, or he's trash, and he's not this, and he's not that. And then, I'm not going to front. There's a couple NBA players that we know is a little bit suspect, but 90% of the NBA players, they belong there, bro. They're not trash. You know what I'm saying? We know the struggle, how hard it is to get to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So you just can't sit there because a dude have 3 or 4 bad games say he's trash. Nigga, we've been through the grind. You know what I'm saying? So I like to, of course, I do collabs with other YouTubers and other Knicks shows and stuff like that. But the majority of my guests is going to be different from other people, because I'm gonna put former basketball players, that been through the struggle too themselves. So that's what this show is about. That's why I started Knicks at Night TV. That's why I got my man Haron here. That's why I got my man Jerome here. Because, if you check their resume, man, go online. Look up Haron Hargrave. Look up Jerome Richardson. Look up Darren Travis, man. We've been through it, bro. So first subject we want to talk about, man, with Knicks is Julius Randle. Right now, Julius Randle is a hot topic with the Knicks because they just drafted Obi Toppin. So because of his play last year, he used to turn, even though he averaged 20 and 10, he used to turn over the ball a lot, and a lot of players are feeling like he's not a good team player, and that Obi Toppin is the next one to come up. So they want Julius Randle off the team. Right now in the Knicks community, everybody's saying, like, when are we gonna get rid of Julius Randle? So Haron, what's your breakdown of Julius Randle, his game, what you think about him, how he helps the team, how he hurts the team? Do you want to keep him, or you think he needs to go? So,
I personally, about his game, I think Julius Randle is a walking bucket. You know what I'm saying? I think that he's instant offense, but I don't think he's the main guy on a championship team or even a playoff team.
Fact.
I don't think he can be that guy. I think he could be the focus, but I think that he is maybe a really good third option. okay second option to have. Like, put him with Giannis, right? Say if he's with Giannis with the Bucks, you wouldn't even be looking at him as the second option, but he is like arguably the number one option for the Knicks. So it's like, you know what I mean? So I think that he's a really good third option on a championship team. But you know, what the Knicks need from him, he has to work a lot on his game. You know what I mean? Cut the turnovers down, be more efficient. You know, be a little bit more defensive minded as well. And I think that Tibbs is gonna help him grow in that aspect. But I don't think he needs to be off the team. I think there's a role for him, but it's just not the role that they were thinking about him having when he first signed with them.
All right, I'm gonna go to his stats, but before we go into his stats, real quick, Haron, really the play. I mean, everybody thinks he needs to be off the team because of Obi. So you think we still could use him now that Obi's here, or you think that he'll help Obi grow?
I don't even think about him being off the team.
Okay.
I don't think about him being off the team. That's the problem with New York. Like, we don't really work with the players that we have. We try to get them out of here before we can even like get something developed. He played 1 year.
Facts.
Yeah, like, let him play out his contract. If anything, you know what I'm saying? You don't really need to trade him or anything because that's going back to square one. Obi Toppin is a rookie. I don't think he's ready to lead us to the playoffs either. Like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, but it's a dope success story. But I don't think Julius Randle needs to be off the team for Obi Toppin to be on the team. I think that they both can coexist with being on the team together.
Facts. So I'm gonna get to in a couple stats before we get to you, Jerome. So right now, again, you know, the two teams the Knicks played in the preseason was the Detroit Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers. They played both of them twice. So the stats we have here, Julius Randle, he was averaging about he's doing better. I mean, he's averaging 6 to 7 assists for the preseason a game from your power forward. So he's actually trying to pass the ball now. You know, averaging about 16 points, about 6 assists, and you know he gets in 10 rebounds. So he's averaging like 16, 10, and 6 right now in like the preseason. He's obviously they got his coach from Kentucky there, Kenny Payne, so he's trying to work with him. You know, one of the problems that the Knicks fans have with him is that they feel he over dribbles too much. They don't want him bringing up the ball. He spins a lot into double teams and he loses the ball. So, you know, one of the jokes on Instagram is like they just show highlights of him spinning around in circles and stuff and saying like he always goes into traffic with his head down. So, Jerome, what you think about his game and what he has done so far last year and this preseason?
Julius Randle, I look at Julius Randle as the new Zach Randolph. I mean, I feel like not every team got a person like him, but not every team knows how to handle a person like him. I'm talking about when you're playing against a dude like that, he's a mismatch problem. Like Haron said, he's a walking bucket. I think the issue with his game and a lot of teams is just finding a nice fit. Like, the Knicks might not fit him because they got a bunch of young players and they're still trying to prove themselves. The thing with Julius Randle, he's still trying to prove himself. So it's going to be hard for him to take a back seat, whether it be to a veteran or to a young guy that's coming in and trying to prove himself, because he's still trying to figure out his game. I understand the way they talk about him, the turnovers and him dribbling the ball, but that's his game. So that's where it goes to me, where it's like, you got to find a team that actually needs that. Not every team needs that anymore. Look at Draymond Green. Like, Draymond Green is basically Julius Randle at the best he could possibly be in that role, like a stretch 4 role, be a team player, a power forward / point guard that you could trust with the ball. That's what Julius Randle wants to get to. And then his offense is probably ahead of Draymond Green, which leads him to do some of the stuff he does.
Fact.
But I just think it's a tough situation. But at the end of the day, the Knicks paid him all that money. They got to play him. They got to see what they could do. A young dude like Obi Toppin, I mean, we all love Obi. Like, obviously we love him. We knew his pops and all that type of stuff. But he's still young, and him to be one of the skinnier power forwards in the league right now, he can learn from a hefty dude who's going to be pushing him around. So you're going against Julius Randle every day. You'll learn some tricks of the trade and what to do when you're going against somebody like him in the league. Because he's probably the biggest power forward in the league left that actually moves the way he moves. Barring Zach Randolph. I don't even know if he's still in the league.
No, he's out.
But I think it's interesting, and it's just crazy, like, New York fans saying they want him off the team. Like, dude just gave you 20 and 10. Like, I don't know where else you're going to find that. But that's 20 and 10. 20 and 10 is 20 and 10. I don't understand that, them wanting him off the team. I understand you want to rush the young guys to get better, but there's no rush in that. Like, they're gonna have their time to shine. Like, that man is there. I think, like Haron said, you need to get the best out of him possibly can instead of we pushing guys away. This has been going on with the Knicks for a while. But no disrespect to the Knicks. The Knicks ain't been good in a long time. I think the only way to get better is by doing it the right way. Everybody's looking for a quick fix. It's not going to be a quick fix. You go through the draft, you draft over a few veterans that can teach the young guys, and you keep it moving. You got to have a lot of luck with it also.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's the same. I think Julius Randle is a great piece for the Knicks. Like Haron says, first option, I don't see it. I don't think nobody sees it. Second option, maybe not. A third option, I can see that, depending on what your first two options are.
Right.
Even if you got him as an option, you're talking about winning the championship. If he's your fourth guy, if you have him coming off the bench for you, like, you're thinking about winning the championship. Like, he's a walking double-double. You know he's going to rebound. Yes, the defense part, but he makes up for it of his offense and just his body being out there. He'll take some charges. His body, he could bang. He's not scared to bang. So I think that's ridiculous. The Knicks don't want him. Like, I can see with his contract why they don't want him.
Well, it's not the Knicks. It's not the Knicks don't want him. We're talking about the Knicks fans. Yeah, we're talking about basically the Knicks fans.
Yeah, I think the fans, that's what the Knicks do a lot of just looking.
Mm-hmm.
The fans will look and see, like, well, we got this player and that player. Maybe we can get Julius Randle for that player. Nah, you just got to take care of what you have at home first and then see where you could go with it.
Right.
Because I think that would be ridiculous to get rid of him.
Facts.
I mean, there's other players in the Knicks you could get rid of before him.
Facts. So, speaking of Julius Randle, right? One of the main reasons why I guess fans feel like they want to get rid of him because they just drafted Obi Toppin and they feel like Julius Randle is actually stunting the growth of R.J. Barrett. They feel like they want R.J. Barrett to be the man on the team. You know, Julius averaged 20 and 10, but Knicks fans look at R.J. Barrett as the future, as him being the leading scorer of the Knicks. So they feel like he shouldn't be on the court fighting for buckets against Julius Randle. So that's one of the main reasons why they want him gone. And the second reason is, like I said before, Obi Toppin. So speaking about Obi Toppin, what do you think about Obi Toppin and his game? And do you like him as a player? Do you like where the Knicks picked him at? Do you think he's gonna be a future star, a future starter? You know, what do you think about Obi Toppin's game?
Obi Toppin, I think he's an interesting piece. Like, he's very athletic. He's a smart player. Like, his IQ seems very smart. Like, so I think, like, the sky's the limit for him. I think I could possibly see him being an all-star at one point. But it's a lot of guys. It's a lot of this NBA. It's a lot of young guys that's in there that's hungry. That's the one thing I love about him is that he have that energy.
Right.
Like, he runs around the court. He has a lot of energy, and he just plays hard. So he just let the game come to him. Because, like, he can knock down the three. He obviously could jump really high. He's fast. Like, he just does a lot of stuff on the floor. So he's just filling up the stat sheet right now and trying to figure out exactly where he needs to fit in. But I love that piece. That's very interesting. And everybody was saying he may go to the Knicks during the draft, but I didn't even think he was going to fall that far down. So for the Knicks to even get him where they got him, I think it's an amazing pick. Like, kudos to the Knicks. Kudos to the GMs for actually pulling off something like Obi Toppin, because the last few years it's been up and down with the Knicks as far as their draft picks. But I think this was a really good draft pick. And I mean, as far as my career, I don't remember the last time the Knicks actually drafted a New York player, like somebody that's really from New York, like lives in New York, grew up in New York, like people know him from playing in New York tournaments and stuff like that. So I never understood why they don't look for more players like that.
Right.
But this is like history. This is a lot of people have been waiting on this. So I think Obi knows what he got riding on his shoulder behind this. There's a lot of people looking up to him. It's a lot of people wishing nothing but success for him, and hopefully that he does the best he possibly can. But I love that piece, and I think he's only going to get better. I think he's just hungry for knowledge, hungry to get better. And that's why, not to bring up Julius Randle again, but I think Julius Randle needs to stay because they got Bobby Portis isn't there anymore. I think Julius Randle is a good veteran to have to teach you a bunch of stuff because he also fills up the stat sheet. Whether people like it the way he do it or not, he definitely fills up that stat sheet.
Rome, it's funny that you say that because if you watch the preseason games and you watch on the court, every time, Obi Toppin, makes a mistake, Julius Randle's the first person over there and explaining, the defensive schemes to him. He's always, he's embracing Obi Toppin. I know people thinking that they battling for the same minutes, but he's being a big brother to Obi Toppin. And, and during the interviews, Obi Toppin is always praising him too, so... Like you say, he could actually learn from him. It's kind of like when Kobe Bryant, came in the NBA and Eddie Jones was there. Yes, everybody knew eventually Kobe Bryant was going to take Eddie Jones' spot, right? But Eddie Jones embraced him still and taught him the game. They used to play one-on-one in practice and everything like that. Eventually, Eddie Jones had to leave. But, if it wasn't for Eddie Jones, who knows if he would have brought out the best out of Kobe Bryant. But hopefully, Julius Randle could do the same for Obi Toppin.
Yeah.
But Rome, go ahead.
I just feel it's just an interesting mix because they're two different type of players, but I definitely think they can help each other on the court. I think Obi would bring some stuff out of Julius Randle too, because Julius he's a warrior. He wants to battle. He wants to start, just like Obi wants to start. He's not going to just give it to him. Mm-hmm. That's what guys are thinking. That's not in his nature at all. That's not how he became an NBA player. He's gonna try his hardest. So Obi gonna have to win it. The same with RJ. You want to run the team? Take it. Julius Randle, from what I've seen, he don't come to the ball and they say, "Here, bring the ball up." It's when he grabs it off the rebound every now and then. He may start the break from the rebound, which is a good advantage to have, that your power forward doesn't have to wait for the point guard to come back and y'all can run the floor with him. Right. So I gotta understand that. But
easy buckets, yeah.
Times when he don't grab the rebound and push it, the Knicks should be doing something productive with the ball. So then if he do grab it, he don't see an instant push, he's automatically thinking, let me give it to RJ, let me give it to the point guard, let's run something. Right. But if nobody's running anything and he knows, I could do this myself, he's going to look for more options and where he could grab the rebound and start the offense himself. Right. So it's a double-edged sword, but he's not going to stop. He's a warrior. He wants to win.
Right. All right. So, Haron, what you think about Obi Toppin's game and how he meshes with Julius Randle, and if Julius Randle is in the way of his development, or will he actually help his development?
I don't even. What I think is that he's a good change, and I feel like I don't know. I know he was the number 8 pick. But it felt like he was a top 5 or a top 3 pick. I really felt that way. The energy that, New York City felt around him as well, too. I think he's going to bring some of that excitement back to fans to be able to see him up close and personal. And again, I don't think Julius Randle has nothing to do with it. I don't know even why we make that into a thing. As New York fans, we can't have too much of a good thing. And it's weird to me. It's you can have, even when Jeremy Lin was wilding, right? Mm-hmm. It's how is Melo going to feel about, what?
Right.
Help now. You know what I'm saying? He has someone who can actually help. Yeah. So I would say, Obi Toppin and Julius Randle, they shouldn't be compared. Again, I feel like Obi Toppin is his own player. He's a rookie. He brings that energy that I feel like the Knicks haven't had around them in a very long time. The pure, fact that people want to see them win. You know what I mean? And people want to see him win. Him being from Brooklyn and being somebody that, we kind of know his family, know his dad, played against him. and stuff like that. Me personally, I want to, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I want to see him do very well. I think he'll be one of the top rookies if given the proper playing time that he needs. I feel like he can have an impact right away on the Knicks, and I think that we need to stop these comparisons that with players on the same team, because that's the start of the nonsense, And we had the same thing with Melo and when Jeremy Lin was doing this thing. Why can't we have two players that are doing things at the same time? Why do we have to just have one? Why does it have to be Melo or Lin, right? Why have to be Randolph or Toppin, right?
Or Randolph or RJ Barrett, because some of the fans feel like, oh, Julius Randle's taking shots away from RJ Barrett because they want RJ Barrett to be the man on the team.
Nobody. These are the shots that you gave him as your number one option.
Facts.
You number one money. You paid Tim Hardaway number one money.
Right.
Like the Knicks franchise in itself, we've been overpaying for players that would be 4th, 5th options on other teams. Yeah.
It's the fact that, the superstars don't want to come here, but then you got the money, so you just like, what do we do with the money? You know what I'm saying?
Like, I got to use Kyrie, for him not to even take, a meeting with the Knicks, and Durant to, it's... So even, and not to get into Brooklyn and the Knicks, but I don't care if they won 20 championships. It will never have that feeling that if they won with the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Even, they're in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like Kyrie and Kevin Durant are playing in New York City.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't even...
No, me personally, no. I still... The reason why I never accepted the Brooklyn Nets, I just feel like it's a hand-me-down team from Jersey. They should have changed the name. You see what I'm saying? If they would have changed the name and all of that stuff, like come with a new name, for example, the Thunder. We don't think they're the Sonics no more because they moved, they changed their name. Like we forgot about the Supersonics. Now we want the Seattle to get a new team. You see what I'm saying? But we still think about it as, man, that's not really Brooklyn. That's still the New Jersey hand-me-down team. You know what I'm saying?
It's not even that. I just think about it as, and not to get off topic, I just think about it as that's not the spot. The spot is the Mecca. It's at the Garden, bro. Like, when the Knicks are winning, the NBA just feels a little bit better, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Basketball, like, life feels better.
Word.
Like,
the Jeremy Lin era you was talking about, I remember that. Yo, dudes was rushing to, like, the YMCA to watch the game. Like, yo, Kobe was talking junk about Jeremy Lin. Let's see what he gonna do. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's the fact. I remember playing in jump ball and, like, yo, how much Lin had? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, won this game. And that was when they played the Lakers that time. He had, like, 38 against the Lakers and Kobe and them.
Yeah.
To not get off topic is that we can have one and we can have another one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
To have more than one valuable player. Those two players are way different. Julius Randle, his game is not the same as Obi Toppin's game at all.
Yeah, because Obi's an energy guy. Yeah.
So to answer your question is, Obi's in his lane. He's still developing who he's going to be as an NBA player. Remember, we didn't even play one regular season game. These are all preseason games.
Yeah. And he's passionable more. Like I said, he got his coach from Kentucky. They're now Kenny Payne from Kentucky. He's now a Knicks assistant coach. That's why we got...
I've always liked him. He's going to make... The Knicks defense is looking so much better.
Yeah, it looks better. Right. And
it's not producing, you sit. That's it.
Right. And another hot topic, I just want to transition from Julius Randle and Obi Toppin into the point guard battle. During the preseason, I took a lot of flack because on my last episode, I didn't know there was, Haron. Jerome already know about this. I'll talk to him about this. I didn't know there was a Frank Hive. My last episode, right? You see Haron's face? My last episode, I just broke down Frank's game and how I feel he's not a starter in the NBA and how... I just feel other players were better than him. And he has a fan base, bro. They was coming for my head, bro. No homo, pause. They was here. They was coming. Yo, you don't know what you're talking about. Frank Ntilikina is this and that. You stupid idiot. How you disrespect this game? They was coming at me crazy. Dudes was in the.
I don't want to get into that. I don't want to.
But anyway, I just want to transition it from that to say that the point guard battle is still open. Yes, we brought back Elfrid Payton. Elfrid Payton is a solid piece. So you know what you're going to get from him. On the Pelicans, he had a couple games where he had maybe 4 or 5 triple-doubles in a row. I mean, once in a while, he make a turnover here and there. And he can't shoot. So people, really don't like him because once in a while, he makes a couple bad plays and then he doesn't have a jump shot. So as far as RJ Barrett's development goes, they want a point guard next to RJ Barrett who could shoot so they could space the floor. Like I told you before, the Knicks fans see RJ as the number one guy, and they want pieces around him that's going to help his game expand. So my transition is to Immanuel Quickley. The last 2 games he played, he did well on the Knicks. He's out of the University of Kentucky. He's another Kenny Payne player. Boy can shoot crazy. He shot 43% in college from the 3-point line. I think what is that? Is Kentucky AC? Oh, it's SEC. They SEC now, right? Yeah, so he was SEC Player of the Year over all his teammates. He was drafted for SEC Player of the Year, he was drafted pretty low at 25. Some people actually thought the Knicks took him too high as far as the 25th pick, but he balled out last game. I think he had 22 points, 5 steals, 5 assists. And now, you know how Knicks fans are. Yo, that's our starting point guard. He's the savior. Immanuel Quickley. We don't care about DSJ. We don't care about Frank. We don't care about Elfrid Payton. We want Immanuel Quickley to be the starting point guard. So I'm going to ask both of y'all, since you just went Haron, Jerome, what you think about Immanuel Quickley? 6'3", point guard, shooting guard from Kentucky. Do you think he got what it takes? Oh, yeah. He also shot 93% from the free throw line. So he's no, like Haron, we know the shooters. 93% from the 3-point line, 43%. I mean, for the free throw line, 43% from the 3-point line. What you think about Immanuel Quickley in his game?
Like you said, he can shoot the rock. I mean, that's the first thing I seen when he was at Kentucky. I mean, I see a few games of him playing at Kentucky, and he's pretty good. I didn't know he was that tall or that big, 6'3". Like, I thought he was smaller than that. But I like his game. I mean, as far as the Knicks go, me and you spoke off camera or whatever, but I think Dennis Smith Jr. should be the starter. I think that's what should happen. I'm not saying that's what may be best for the team or that's what's supposed to happen. But I think going into the season, he has a lot to prove. Being traded from Dallas, being this and that, like being hurt last year, I think he was initially supposed to be the starter. And I love Elfrid Payton picking him up as the backup because now you have a veteran guard who to me is on the same level as Rajon Rondo. Like, Rajon Rondo's an A, he's a B. He's a B minus, so he's right behind him. They've got similar games. Don't know what's missing from Elfrid Payton's game, but he's a tough guard.
A jump shot,
yeah, but he does everything else. You need a guy like that can run the team. It's just crazy to me that these are the next options. With Haron is a point guard, but Haron just knowing, like, the point guard position, and these are your options. How does that happen in the NBA? Every other team got, like, you can look at the Celtics a few years back. They had Kyrie, and they had the boy who went to Charlotte, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Rozier. Like, that's 2 legit starting potential point guards. Like, Terry Rozier can start for a team easily. The Knicks doesn't have any of that. They have 3 guys, in my opinion. Elfrid Payton, yes, he started for a team, but Orlando didn't really go nowhere when he started for them. And I love Payton. I'm just saying, like, these are the options you have. Dennis Smith Jr., he got chased out of there as soon as Luka Doncic, who I love, but don't get me wrong, he's a small forward. A small forward came in and took your point guard position. I don't care what you say, that's what happened. Luka Doncic is amazing. Don't get me wrong. Don't let me seem like I'm undermining his skill or anything. I'm just saying, as a point guard, you let a small forward come take your spot to the point where they traded you. Now you're on the Knicks with you. It's between you, Elfrid Payton, and Frank. And now they got a guy they drafted because of his shooting, who potentially is in this conversation. That should not happen. So I blame all of this on Dennis Smith Jr. Like, I hope he hears me, and I hope he goes out there and performs like everybody hopes he can. Like, he's super athletic. He reminds me kind of like a Steve Francis.
Bring your camera down a little bit.
Oh, he's super athletic. He reminds me of like a Steve Francis type of player. But like, he's not like, he can shoot. He's not like a Steph Curry shooter, but he's not also Alpha Payton. So I think his jump shot is enough for him to be a starting, and then his athleticism and his depth and his build. Like, I think he should be legitimately the Knicks starting point guard.
So I just want to transition to you, Haron, right? So he brought up some good points about Dennis Smith Jr., Alvin Payton, and Immanuel Quickley. So far in the preseason, what we've been seeing from Dennis Smith Jr., who he thinks should start, is he got better on defense. So the thing that everybody was hyped about Frank was Frank's defense, right? But since Tom Thibodeau has came to the team and the 4 preseason games we played, the one consistent thing about Dennis Smith Jr. has been his defense. He's picking up full court. He's locking up. He's deflecting balls. He's giving trouble to the point guard, bringing up pause. He's giving trouble to the point guard, bringing up the court, right? What we have saw from he's hit occasional 3 here and there, right? But one bad thing that he's doing is that he's over dribbling the ball, and it looks like he's not going anywhere. He's dribbling a lot, and he's not really initiating the offense. The offense looks stagnant when Dennis Smith Jr. has the ball. I think it's the type of offense they're running. Personally, I think, with Dennis Smith Jr., you need to like run a horns offense. Like, you have 2 picks, a pick on the left, a pick on the right, and he comes over that where he could go downhill and attack the basket. He's not the type of point guard that you're going to stand there and pass it and swing and cut through and all of that. So when Immanuel Quickley came in, he's more of a pick and roll guy, because once you come off the pick and you go underneath, he's letting that thing fly. You know what I'm saying? So that's more the Knicks offense actually, emphasizes Quickley's game more than it emphasizes Dennis Smith Jr.'s game. So what is your thoughts about what Jerome said about Dennis Smith Jr. starting compared to what the fans were, which is Immanuel Quickley?
What I'm gonna say about this is because I'm gonna speak from a space from myself, from playing the game. When I was doing, right, say if I come in and I'm in a game and I'm playing and I'm locking up on defense and this, that, and the third, people don't see me the same, right? They're not viewing me as I just got that stop on defense, or, I'm playing hella defense if I'm not making my jump shots. You know what I'm saying? So I'm easier, me personally, to be like subbed out of a game because I didn't shoot a 3-pointer, or I didn't make a 3-pointer, or like I did something different, which I'm locking up on defense and I'm tuned into that. So no matter how much people say they want you to do other things, they want you to do what they know you to do. And defensively, we don't really care. If Dennis Smith played a little deep, we didn't really say, oh, he doesn't play defense. What he does bring to the table, explosiveness, creativity, you know what I'm saying? Like, flashy. The last thing we thought about was his defense. We don't care about that. So if he's not doing those things,
he's not.
Then what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you separating yourself by being Frank?
Right.
By Frank Ntilikina. Like, we already have a defensive point guard.
Right.
We already have. I hope the Frank people don't come after me, but that's the truth. At the end of the day, the Knicks need somebody. Quickley's game, bro. Like, I like it because that's the way I would play the point guard position. Like, being aggressive, right? Shooting the 3, trying to get fouls and stuff like that while you're just showing that you care, right? You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys, they get to the league and then their passion for the game goes away. You can see the passion in these younger players because they have so much to play for right now. And that's the type of player that I want. So if Quickley's going to be doing the best he can do, he's not a pure point guard. I would rather him play the 2. What happened to Dotson?
Dotson got let go. They released him.
Was he just on the Cavaliers?
Yeah, he's on the Cavaliers now.
He was the best shooter that the Knicks had.
All right, but I just want to bring up a fact that y'all keep saying that Quickley, is a shooter, and he played point guard his whole career in high school. When he got to Kentucky, they already had point guards, so they asked him to, because he can shoot well. They asked him, "Can you change your position?" So he changed his position, but he said his whole life he's playing point guard.
Understandable, and again, that's just the way to get more minutes. If you think about it, like I could come in a 2, a combo guard, and that's something that I was always like in my career. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And like his game a little bit, you know, he's a little bit more explosive than me. I couldn't really dunk like that, but he shoots the ball. He does unorthodox shooting. Like his moves aren't like, you know, cliche at times, but me personally, I like that. Mm-hmm. Me as a coach, I'll throw him out to the wolves and see what can happen. Dennis Smith hasn't been playing productive basketball for a long time. Frank plays, he plays not to make a mistake.
Right.
Doesn't play to be like, yo, I'm that dude. And in New York, you need somebody to own that spot, and nobody's really taking it. Alfred Payton, the same thing. He'll have a good game, and they'll have a shitty game. We need somebody who's going to be like, you know what? I got this. I'm taking this as a pit bull.
Right.
You know, like, this is my spot. Nobody's owning that spot. It's almost like when you're coaching, and you're looking for a player that's going to lead all the other players. As a coach, you don't want to have to say, yo, every play. Call a play. You're the point guard. Call something. You don't have to do that with Chris Paul. You don't never have to do that with Steve Nash. You don't have to do that with, you know, Darren Williams when he was on his game. At the end of the day, Quickley is showing that he's the best fit right now. Mm-hmm. I would go into the start of the season with Quickley playing, just off of that momentum from the preseason, if anything else. But it's not going to happen. They're probably going to start Alfred Payton or Frank. No,
they probably going to start Alfred Payton and Quickley. He's earned, obviously he jumped over Frank, so it's between Quickley.
He need to get his mind right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like my whole take on the whole thing is like, I'm not saying Quickley is not the best option. I'm just saying, how are we at this point?
Yeah.
We get here. Like, you got Alfred Payton, you got Dennis Smith Jr., like, this should have already been solidified.
Right.
Like,
I get what you're saying.
Dennis Smith Jr. also is like, in my opinion, I don't really know what happened, but I'm thinking this is what happened in Dallas. He was the point guard. They drafted this young kid who's amazing. It's been hard to keep his spot, but as soon as he got there, they got you up out of there. And already even thinking about it.
And remember when they were saying that the Knicks should have drafted Dennis Smith?
Yeah, and now we got him.
They have him.
Right. And now
you're on the team that you were supposed to go to. Everybody wanted you to go to. And even last year, before he got hurt, I didn't see the type of dude that I wanted to see leading New York Knicks. Like the point guard of New York Knicks.
Trey Burke played better than him.
Yeah. So what I'm going.
Yes.
So what I'm going off of what you guys are saying, man, it looks like the battle is really going to be between Payton and Quickley. Because like as Haron said, I know you haven't seen a lot of the preseason games, but if you watch Quickley play, Jerome, this is what I'm trying to say about his game. He can shoot the three. When he gets into the paint, his floater game is sick. He has a nice floater game. And for a rookie, he knows how to draw fouls. Like, you know how RJ Barrett, he knows how to draw fouls. And I seen him pull the ref to the side. This is a rookie, and he's talking to the ref. Ref, what am I doing wrong? All right, that wasn't a foul. How do I do? He's already savvy like a vet as a rookie. I'm not trying to hype him up, but from what I've seen for the past 2 games, he got what it takes, boy. I'm not gonna front his handle.
Oh yeah,
his handle.
No, I seen a couple things from him, and I seen all that. I seen exactly what you said. I'm just saying, it's crazy to me that
Frank ain't on that spot.
Let this happen.
Yeah,
like it's crazy to me that we talking about Julius Randle. We talking about Julius Randle helping out with the offense, down to RJ, who has a lot on his table already. Now he has to worry about running the offense. And then we talking about now a guy who was drafted, yes, technically for his shooting, who's supposed to just come in and possibly help out at the point position, but not run the point. Like, it's just crazy to me. So it just speaks volumes to me, and I hope the young kid gets the opportunity that he deserves. But, I mean, it's just crazy to me that we're at this point, because I was definitely high on Dennis Smith Jr. at one point. And it seems like, I heard somebody say it before, and it's just like, he's an athlete that plays basketball. He's not really a basketball player. Not knocking his game, but he seems like one of those guys that was always super athletic, could dunk, and now he's trying to learn. Kind of like when Russell Westbrook came in the NBA. That's what they felt when they drafted him. But like the Quickley dude, he comes in with energy. He comes in like he got some moxie to him. It's like what they would say. Like he got something to him. Like Obi, we know has something to him. Julius Randle's not backing down. That's the type of players that Knicks need. If you want those smooth guys, you want to come to New York and get flogged, this is not the team for you. Go to Brooklyn.
All right, my bad, Haron.
Not the Knicks,
my bad, Haron. Fact check. Quickley is 21. Dennis Smith Jr. is 23.
Okay.
He's 23.
They still young guys, but at the end of the day, people who are young in the NBA, they're making moves. They're making things happen. And, you know, the veterans are kind of getting moved out of there. The Knicks are a real, they're a solid point guard away from, like, just making it to the playoffs. If Chris Paul would have came to the Knicks are going to make the playoffs. And the East, they'll make the playoffs for sure.
Yeah.
Emmett, Mitchell Robinson would be phenomenal together.
Right.
Chris Paul is doing with Aiden out there in Phoenix already. Like, you know, he's Devin Booker, All-Star again. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, those are leaders, and then they have blueprints. It's not like they don't have people that they can look to. You have them in the league, and they're still in the league, like a Rondo. Like, if Rondo Lakers, and the Lakers may have had a lot of trouble winning that, not with the Heat, but like getting out of, you know, the Western Conference playoffs and just the playoffs in general. If they didn't have playoff Rondo came up big.
Definitely.
So, you know, him going to the Hawks is you know, again, I just want to see somebody take onus of that position. Play like, yo, this is my spot, and I'm not gonna let any one of y'all. We teammates, we cool, but I want to start.
Well, we're going to see. We're going to see. Hold on. What we going to do is after like 10, 15 games, I'm going to have y'all back on here. What we're going to see as far as who took over the point guard spot, if anybody stepping up. But you talked to something just now I want to talk about is the Knicks predictions, season predictions, all right? So what you got as far as, you know, it's only 72 games this season, shortened season by 10 games. Do you see the Knicks making the playoffs? Do you see the Knicks being the worst team in the NBA? For the record, for the season, what is your season predictions for the New York Knicks?
Yo, every year we go into this hopeful, right? I see a lot of changes even on the coaching staff. It's not the same roster. It's not the same. You know, we have some people who came back, you know, the younger guys. Yo, and this is we didn't even talk about Kevin Knox. God, this guy right here, man. If he had any, I feel like the Knicks have a lot of players like Kevin Knox. If you understand what I'm saying, like players who have talent, who just haven't really tapped into it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then it makes it like, yo, this guy looked really good in college. He come to the league and he ain't, like, he's okay, right? He's decent. And then they blame it on the Knicks. And then it's like, yo, but when, as players, a GM has never, like, you know, a GM or anybody has never made me, you know, not play a certain way. A coach may have, but a lot of these guys are getting the green light to do whatever they want to do. They're like, here's minutes, here's shots, here's everything. Create something. And they're not doing it. At the end of the day, if Kevin Knox plays well and Randolph is playing the role that he needs to play, and RJ, you know, he's in his second year, he has a great sophomore year, and one of those point guards step up, you know, and really take onus of that, because I think defensively the Knicks will be a lot better. That's what you know, and just from Thibodeau alone, Thibodeau leads teams to the playoffs. So I hope he brings that magic to the Knicks, and the fact that we have Mike Woodson back. Yeah, that you know, he's a defensive coach as well too, and that was some of our best days. More recently was when he was on the Knicks coaching staff, when he was the Knicks coach. So I think he's going to bring some of that grittiness and stuff back to the Knicks. And
So let me get this straight. Is your season prediction the playoffs?
Make the playoffs.
You saying the playoffs? The Knicks are going to make the playoffs.
They're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they're going to kill you in the comments, boy. They're going to kill you in the comments.
What's that?
They're going to kill you in the comments.
Playoffs?
So,
Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
So
I just hope we can win again.
What about you, Jerome?
They competing this year? I thought they were banned.
Banned from what, the playoffs? That was last year. That was last year they was banned from the playoffs. They didn't even make it to the bubble.
Seriously, like, Knicks, this year, like they took some strides, but like Haron said, like they're close. I say they're close. I'm not ready to say they're there this year, especially with a shorter season, especially with like what Brooklyn's got. KD's trying to win MVP or make it to the promised land. Like, I think it's too many teams. The Bucks,
Celtics,
like, Miami, defending Eastern Conference champs, Toronto, like the Celtics. That's 5 right there. Indiana, I still think the Knicks have to compete with. Like, who else? Like, it's a lot. Charlotte. I don't know. I think it's going to be. It's a lot. I think it's going to be interesting, though. I think they're going to be there in the end.
500 team?
They're going to be a lot closer than they did in the past, but I don't know if they're going to make it over the hump.
So you think?
I say,
I'm going over the hump. They're going to start off really good. They're going to get off to a good start. I feel like, and they're going to get a lot of more wins earlier. That when people start being, the Knicks are all right, and they'll go through their bumps and bruises throughout the regular season. But I think that they're going to surprise a lot of teams early on and get a lot of those wins early on in the season because they're going to be playing a style of basketball which is hard-nosed basketball. Did you watch the last game that they played?
Yeah. You talking to me?
Yeah, I mean, just spoke.
Yeah, I watched the last game they played. I'm going to go with my season prediction. I believe they're going to be like between 36 and 40 games. That should get them in the playoffs because now, they're doing the top 10 teams and then you battle to get in for the 8th spot. So, yeah, they're top 10 teams and then you're going to battle for the 8th spot, just like they did in the bubble.
Yeah, see, I feel they'll be in that battle. I forgot they're doing that.
Yeah, so the Knicks.
I think they will be right there at the end.
So all they have to do is make it like number 9 and number 10 and they'll be able to battle for the last spot. So if they're 500 or a little bit above 500, you're right, Haron. I think they could be close to the playoffs. I mean, a lot of people saying
they're going to surprise a lot of teams. They're going to get some wins. They're going to beat Toronto some games.
They're going to beat some good teams. They got the pieces.
They're going to beat Charlotte. Charlotte ain't.
Charlotte's not that good, bro.
Not that good. Charlotte. They might sweep Charlotte. Real talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm saying it's a bunch of other teams in the same position as them that's thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to beat the Knicks. Like, Orlando's thinking that. This is our year. We're going to beat the Knicks. We're going to do this. We're going to make that last push for that last spot. I just feel like the Knicks are close this year.
They're not talking about the Knicks. The Knicks is they just going. They're not even worried about the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? So the Knicks. That's why the Knicks is going to surprise. Literally, the moves that they've been making, like especially for this year, I really feel comfortable with them. I feel comfortable with what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I think that there's a lot more work to do. But as long as they're going to do what they have to do and keep working how they're working, this is probably the least amount of overturn that the Knicks have had players-wise in a very long time. They kept a lot of the nucleus from years past.
The young players.
Yeah. So they're again, and like when we playing on a team or something like that, the more you play with somebody, you know how they pull it, so you get to build.
Right.
So I think that they'll be a lot better. We kind of forget that team atmosphere sometimes because we haven't really had it in a very long time. But building chemistry with your teammates is very important. Unlike going into a game, so when we playing with Tippy, we know how we gotta play. We gotta, defensively. You can't make a couple of turnovers because you're gonna get subbed out. You know what I mean? You gotta hit. If you're not open shot, you might get subbed. You know these things about even your players or the coaches and certain things. So these players are getting more comfortable with one another and they're allowed to help these new players come along as well too. So I'm looking forward to that. I think the Knicks are going to make the playoffs this year. And, I think that, basketball in New York is will be in a better position moving forward.
All right, last but not least, we're going to get into accolades, all right? They got a couple accolades in the NBA. I just want to know, do you think if any of the Knicks players will receive these? You have the MVP, of course. You got Most Improved Player. You got Rookie of the Year. You got, of course, All-Star, Sixth Man. Do you see any Knicks players receiving any of these awards? You first, Jerome.
I see
Good night. Go ahead. You can go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
No, you left off something that is a big award, defensive player.
Defensive player of the year.
Yeah, I think that Mitchell Robinson can get, can jump and probably become a defensive player of the year with all the blocks that he has. Other than that, I don't see anybody else on the Knicks, not an MVP. I don't see no MVPs on the team. I don't see sixth man of the year.
All-Star.
No.
I see RJ making that All-Star that World versus.
Yeah, but that's the rookie.
He's a sophomore. Yeah. Of course he going. He's trying to be funny. I'm serious.
I mean, he ain't making last year.
Oh, he did make it last year. He was the leading scorer. He had 24 points. He got the MVP of that game, I think.
He gotta go back.
Yeah, he killed that game.
I think.
But he didn't make a team though. He didn't make an all rookie team.
Yeah, he didn't. They was trolling, Jerome. They was trolling. If you check his numbers, they was trolling.
He didn't make an all rookie team.
Oh, you didn't? You don't know about that? He didn't make nothing. He didn't make no all rookie team. No second team. No, they was trolling the Knicks, boy. The dude.
He didn't make first or second team.
Let me tell you, Haron. They trolled the Knicks in this because he actually was top 5 in every category for rookies, and he didn't make no team. They just hate the Knicks that much.
First or second team all rookie.
I'm saying top 5. He might have been top 3 in every category.
Top 3, I think. In every category.
Top 3 in every category. He didn't make no rookie team.
Yo, that's crazy. Now that's like
what I'm trying to tell you. Like dudes don't like his game for whatever reason, but to me, he's Paul Pierce number 2.
Yo,
and Paul Pierce was dangerous.
Lefty.
And he's left-handed. Paul Pierce was dangerous. I don't think people understand how good his nickname is the Truth.
Yeah, I put a mixture.
Understand that.
I agree. I put a mixture of Paul Pierce and like Jimmy Butler, like his game, like kind of similar to like a mixture of them two.
I said, Paul Pierce was dunking and moving like him when he was young. I think a lot of people forget that.
Yeah.
But Paul Pierce just went into that old man game so early and just like gave up on the athleticism. Like, remember it was him and what's the other dude name? He used to do the shake, Antoine Walker. Remember it was just him and it used to be just him and Paul Pierce and the Celtics.
Wow,
like 40
so there you go. Maybe Julius Randle could be Antoine Walker, and maybe RJ Barrett could be Paul Pierce. At least they was
3 balls up.
All right, man. So that's it for the show for today. I mean, once again, it's Knicks at Night TV. You're heading out. Anything you want to say, Jerome? Where they could find you at, follow you, your Instagram, or Or any shout outs you want to give?
I just want to give a shout out to everybody, man. Love is love, all that type of stuff. This has been a rough year, 2020. I'm glad we really still have sports. We're able to even do this conversation, talk about stuff like this year's, man. We never even thought about what was your worst year ever. Like, that's never even been a question. But this year, by far, definitely is number 1. Like,
takes the cake.
All right.
Man, you never even think, like, what can happen happens this year. Like, this year was crazy. So this is a shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the Knicks fans. Shout out to all the basketball fans. Like, I'm not saying the Knicks not going to make the playoffs. I'm still just saying I need to see a little bit more. That's all I'm saying.
Facts. And Haron, what about you? Here you go. Where they can reach you at?
Shout out to you, Darren. Shout out to you, Jerome. Brothers. You know what I mean? We've been doing this a long time, and I'm glad that you're still, eager to do this, Darren. And it takes a lot to keep stuff like this up, Shout out to the Knicks fans. Shout out to everybody who's still here during this pandemic. And we've lost like you said, Ron, we lost a lot of people this year. So anybody who gets through this, it's tough as nails, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the survival of the fittest right now with 2020. So I'm looking forward to 2021 and just the possibilities of what we can do. Because I don't think that, hopefully, I pray that it can't get any worse than what we actually going through right now. But at the end of the day, let's go Knicks. You can follow me at H205. Ballin' for Peace, BALLIN, the number 4, the word peace. And also go to the website, ballinforpeace.org. And, that's pretty much it, man. I had a good time on the show.
All right, facts. And you know what you can catch me at? It's D-Trav from KnicksatniteTv. You can follow me on Instagram, KnicksatniteTv, also on YouTube or Facebook. Once again, shout out to both of my boys for being on the show, giving their perspective of the Knicks. It was good. You know, have y'all back again, hopefully, after 10, 15 games. Maybe, Haron, we be 13-2. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we 13-2. I'm guaranteeing we make the playoffs.
We'll see what's up, man.
Now it's a hypothesis, right? I'm
You're
just
right.
an educated guess right now. But I